Welcome to the Sales Acceleration Show. Today we're at a co-working called Meet District and we're going to talk about agile marketing.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I've invited Jorn from Intuo.io. He's going to explain immediately what they do, but one of the major things that I've seen is Intuo for me is one of those companies that's been speeding up and accelerating like crazy. They are really good in execution. You're like the first company I sometimes say, calm down, you need to get the structure right. Yeah. So, but most companies don't have that. So I want to talk about how you do the speed, what you do, all of that, and let's go there. But before that, maybe you explain very quickly what you do.
So hello everyone. So I'm Jorn. I'm a VP Marketing at Intuo. And Intuo is a SaaS software company, and we're a talent enablement platform, meaning that we enable managers to become better coaches. We allow them to have a better, feel with their employees, with their team members, so that eventually, they stay longer at their company, they're happier at their company, and so forth. So that's it.
Make a better world for all of us. Now, tell me, we were just talking before the camera was on about how you guys started, and it started with a quiz.
Yeah.
So tell me, take us through the story actually.
I mean, one of the experiments, you mean, yeah? So one of the experiments we've done, because we are operating in a very immature market, meaning that not a lot of people are Googling for our solution. Yeah. So a lot of people
the education part is really
important for us.
Yeah.
This awareness phase and kind of like, generating the trust of our future customers, right? So we created this test, an online test where you could test your company culture. How well do you score on
10 questions?
5 questions, not even questions, you drag something from left to right as a...
But I've seen the graphic, really nice graphics.
Yeah, so companyculturetest.com, so after that test, you leave your email address, you leave your country, and you get a result, right?
Like in your inbox straight away, a score.
Wow. You see it in your face.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether it's good, we give you some pointers on what you can do to improve your company culture, or what your manager can do, or whatever. Yeah. And I mean, the results have been really cool, right? It went absolutely viral. We scored on Product Hunt. We were on the 8th place at one point. We see some virality peaks in Sweden sometimes because of people sharing it.
Depending where it moves through.
So, but it's and I think it works so well is because it's easy. It's something that is super relatable to a lot of people.
So let me ask a question. So you get all the emails.
Yeah.
What happens next?
That is a problem.
That's the question.
That was a problem though. We never, to be honest, we thought we would have like, 2-3 emails per day and we could handle that, but the reality was different, and we had the luxury problem. Yeah, absolutely.
Because the big question I always have is when I just look at the sales, not even marketing, it's like, how do you know you're talking to the right people? Because if you have to reach them all, it's too much. You have to start selecting. So tell us what happened. What did you do?
We didn't do anything, to be honest. we had all these because we were expecting sales to kind of go through these leads and contact them if necessary, put them in a sales sequence. But there were too many, and they were so early on in the funnel that it wasn't even worth the effort of sales. So we had to nurture these people, right? But we didn't have anything in place. So now we are working.
So what happened next? Because it's interesting. Because a lot of companies that are watching are actually in this phase. So they try something. So we're actually broadening the funnel and making it like really aware. So then next, one of the things I saw was like a use case. Yeah. Actually, you should know I'm using their use case to show it to everybody. Like, this is the standard. That's how it needs to look. And it's not that hard to make, right?
It's true, yeah. I mean, that's another experiment, obviously, which a lot of companies are doing in
I just love the way you guys did it. It's like the graphics, and what I like especially is the format is small, so it's kind of sitting around, and you made a good quality paper. That's weird, because I believe that making the intangible a service tangible is important, and it has this high quality glossy look, and I keep on thinking, look at this thing.
Yeah,
but it didn't start
super
like that.
Nice.
It didn't start like that.
No,
you just said let's make a use case, and
we said let's make a use case like everybody's doing. Put it on a landing page, get the leads in.
Not everybody's doing it. Not like that.
Oh, really?
People make really boring use cases if they have them at all. So you think it's normal? I almost don't see it.
But I think it's part of the Intuo brand as well, to make things a bit more quirky, to make things look nice and funky. And especially because everyone is doing it online, everybody's receiving emails. But who do you get a lot of mail in your letterbox?
No.
Exactly. So
No.
we decided to print it, and part of the
You ship it out. You send.
yeah, part of the sales
Oh.
sequence is like that. So it's like we
Oh, so
put
you
a
have a
post-it.
physical-
Hey,
yeah.
I'm using the old school way. How are you doing? Just catching up or whatever. The salespeople write
Yeah.
on it, put it in an envelope, and send it to them, and they really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, what happens next? Then you have a follow-up call, or you just expect the people to come to you?
I mean, it's part of a whole sales
Yeah.
sequence, right? So every salesperson with us is constantly experimenting with these sequences as well. Like, what are the best steps? Like, is it first an email, then trying to contact them, then adding them on LinkedIn, sending this case study? So it's a matter of experimenting constantly. So there's
Yeah.
no fixed sequence.
You also are for me, one of the clear, next to StoryMe, one of the really companies that have used these video mails. I mean, especially in Belgium, for me, it was
Yeah.
the first time I actually encountered it next to StoryMe guys. I really saw big effect of that.
Yeah.
And I understood now that it works well in certain countries, not everywhere, by the
Yeah.
way. But when do you use it? Do you use it on every? Because it's a work to make. So you do it on every, or you cherry pick. These are the top 10 accounts. I'm gonna do it with them.
Yeah.
Or how do you guys do it?
I mean, it's definitely something that the sales guys decide, and they filter through, from the outbound potential,
Yeah.
what they deem to be very good potential leads,
Yeah.
and kind of relate with them. So not selling, but like trying to share tips and pointers with them, rather
Yeah.
than just being like, hey, we're Intuo and this is what we do, buy
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
Actually.
so it's kind of like trying to trigger a conversation, and like you said, in some countries it works well, others very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you imagine you have a startup or let's say companies that want to try some of this, what would be your advice? What are like 2-3 things, guys? Just don't do this mistake. Just think like that.
Oh,
do
yeah.
that. What would you advise?
I think my main advice in this would be like, try to segment your audience. So I mean, obviously we can sell our product to a lot of companies, but try and figure out like which type of companies would really have a big pain if they wouldn't have or don't have Intuo or your product.
And then you have a persona probably, like this is how they click and tick.
Yeah, and then you create a message that really relates to them. I know it sounds cliche, but like if, let's say if you are a tire company and you can sell to a lot of cars, be like, okay, if we only sell to people, tires that only own minis, for instance, you would use the word mini or whatever in your proposal.
Really well.
Yeah. So really kind of tailor your message to small audiences and set, different campaigns up.
Yeah.
And I think you'll have maximum,
The other thing that I've seen you guys do, which I really like, is like this if you look at large corporates, you want to approach them, you've done some really in-depth, in-account marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Just tell us a story about it, because I've seen some stuff of you guys posting on LinkedIn and on Facebook where I thought, God, take me through, because I just...
So basically what we do is we do a desk research. We ask the salespeople, like, in an ideal world, which kind of companies would you like to have as a customer?
Yeah, make your top 10.
Yeah, give your top 10. And for those companies, we kind of do desk research as to how they are doing their company, what they are doing to maintain or improve their company culture. Basically report that in a short article and create a cool, resonating thumbnail image.
Like a picture.
Yeah,
I've seen the one of Lego lies.
Yeah, Legolize your culture,
I've
right?
seen that one.
Or how to unileverage. And then you...
It's all the brand owners. You go like, no, don't do it.
I mean, you need to be able to take that, you need to be, able to take that risk, because you do get sometimes you get not so happy email.
So you make that, you make a nice thumbnail with a story behind.
Yeah.
And then you put it on Facebook or LinkedIn?
For our audience on LinkedIn, right? Yeah. And then we advertise to all the people working at that company.
And then you go rather broad, like everything that's management, for instance.
But
and then what happens? Because I can imagine you will get noticed, that's one. Two, I can imagine that if I would be in marketing, brand owner, and I see somebody doing that, I would say, guys, be careful.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not the way I think. I mean, if it doesn't work, nobody will see it. If it works, a lot of people will see it, so you have impact. I mean, you might piss off some people and they will reach out.
But you phone then, or they'll basically reach out to you?
They reach out to me,
Yeah. No, I mean not the people that are pissed off, but the people that are interested.
The people,
of course, when
the people that are interested. I mean, the thing is,
and then sales is gonna say no, it's marketing.
You start a conversation, right? Because the cost per click on these ads is the cheapest ever, and you start a conversation, I assume, within that organization, and it might reach the right people or the decision makers, or at least you stay top of mind, right?
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to state. The conversion costs of these articles, but at least you're succeeding in making them talk about something, right?
Yeah. Okay, another one?
Yeah.
You say, okay, another tip where you say, so we've done segment, try be niche, really focus, get a resonating image, do some, for the large accounts, do some in-account based marketing.
Yeah.
Again, you feel there was a lot of creativity with you guys. You feel that you had the use case, which I really like because it's a bit funky.
Yeah.
I showed it to some really large corporate just to see what would happen. So imagine you see this and there is this picture of this naked, semi-naked guy, a fat and a thick one, and they all stuck on the picture and said, yeah, we would never produce something like this, but I kind of like it. Right?
Yeah. But it's not a real naked guy, right? It's
no, he's wearing.
I know. But just for the guys.
No naked guys in this. Now everybody's gonna download it anyway.
I think my next advice would be try to think of experiments that really are tailored to the customer journey phases. Think of like, what can I do to increase leads on the awareness phase, on the consideration phase, and on the decision phase, right?
Yeah.
Do experiments.
Are those three different flows or the same approaches, or?
I mean,
because at a certain stage, as you grow,
you
will get into more and more processed approach, and I think you're going through that phase now, where you said, "Okay, we acquired the HubSpot. Now we really building the process better." In the beginning, you're kind of figuring out. So
in the beginning, like even the content we were making was like, "What do you feel like writing about?" Like, I want to write about.
It's Friday.
This,
let's write something.
Exactly, but it is a reality, and now that we have this process that is getting in place, you see the holes, and you see where or what you need to be writing about or what you need to be creating. So, I don't know, create overview. I'm quite chaotic, like organized chaotic, and creating overview is a lifesaver in terms of putting priorities in place, but also communicating it internally. You know, I think it's very. I struggle sometimes.
Marketing produces beautiful stuff. They send it out, and then sales guys get called and like, "What's going on, guys?" And then you get this friction.
Yes.
Friction
I think
points,
aligning sales and marketing is very important, and it's something that I try to.
For me, it's almost.
Yeah, but it's difficult because everyone has different KPIs, and you can say, okay, sales qualified leads are a combined, effort and all these things. But the reality is that you get onto these different entities, and I always try to communicate as well as I can with them, but it's not easy. It's a constant struggle, but it's okay. It's okay. Otherwise, it would be boring, right?
Yeah, no, it needs to move. With that, I think you gave a nice overview. I would definitely say people check it out because it's really intriguing, interesting. I like the creative. I like the material. I think you guys could scale a lot more actually. So that's good news.
With the process in place.
Now you have to. So if you like what you've just heard, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for a lot more. And Jorn, keep up the good work.
Michael, thanks.